was just to try to summarize and to present to you your proposal made during these 2 days by delegates, by users of SMS for DC, in order to improve the next release of the software. We have now at release 5.1 because we started by release 3. It was SMS for DC release 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. After we migrated to the 5.1, because this was taking into consideration, as I told you, the latest calculation methods and so on, Google Earth applications, some links also to billing systems, and now some links to monitoring the issues. So techniques, apparatus, whatever you are using. So we have, with the help of some manufacturers, I don't cite them, but I know some of them, you were there in Munich. Some others are coming from China, from India, but it's okay. All these are working together in order to try to have a complete tool you can enjoy when you make your regulatory work to manage, but also to monitor the spectrum. So Istvan will present to you the summary conclusions of our meeting and the proposal made. You will discuss them, and you will decide what to keep, what to delete, and after we will resume our workshop. Thank you. Istvan, you have the floor.
So thank you, Jean-Jacques. I cannot speak so quickly and intensively than you are doing, but I am trying. Not so quickly. So what I prepared here, that I was concentrating on the SMS for DC because this was the first day where we received the comments from the experts who are using the software and especially who are doing the trainings of the software. It's a little bit similar what we have done in 2016 when we had the SMS for DC users meeting. And we are planning to do a similar meeting this year. We haven't decided yet whether we have it during the ITUD study groups because we have their time slots for workshops, or we will do like last time that we could do it back to back with the radio communication seminar, which was in Geneva. So I cannot say that I was really lazy, but I had not too much time to put it together. So that's why I took some parts of the presentations of the experts. One of them, the first one was from Arnaud, that he was mentioning the improve the billing tool and create a search by criteria tool. We have already a search tool where you can define what you want to do, but of course we can check that how we can improve this. A billing tool, it means that I'm sure that you are not thinking on the calculations, but on the billing itself. But anyway, we have to think also on how to improve the calculations. It's in our plan. I'm not sure whether it will be in the new version because we are working already on some items on the new version, but maybe we can wait. Because one example what we have now in the new version that you can do the installation not only just from a CD-ROM, but we will have it also from USB because I know that CD is less and less used. The engineering function, the import stations from notice files, so of course we will check it. You mean that notice to the ITU, or this is that we can do? Even the notice files is prepared from the stations, so we can deal with this. Increase the basic map resolution. As I mentioned to you, we had some problems with the intellectual property right. That's why we have the 1 kilometer map. But we provide this service. So if countries are interested, then we can provide for them the higher resolution map. Why I'm saying this? Because it happened already for 2-3 countries that they purchased already the terrain data. And we could help them to put it into the system because in the system you have 3 layers for entering the maps, and then we can manage it. The specialty of this map, higher map resolution, that we have a special format how you have to store the map information in the system. So when we receive something, we have to be careful that it's the same structure. That's why we had before a little problem with the HCM, because HCM had a different structure, but it was solved. Then we have the proposal from Nigeria. The fee field under billing is limited on only 9 digits. I have to check because I remember sometimes that we discussed it, but I will check that with the developers that how we can improve it. But it's very nice if you can have such a nice money. Maybe you have to pay for the SMS for DC some percentage of the income. And then if you are going above the 9 digits, and then we can improve the software further. Expiration date, drop-down options should be more than 1 annual period. This one we can check. Also for the Excel files, we have to improve how to import this information. And also the equipment files needs to be updated. We are doing some updates regularly. This is the same for Anten now because we can take it from the catalogs, but it's not an automatic regular update, so we can check it. I told you that we have some limitation because the budget is not too high, and normally we are using experts from outside because in the BDT I'm alone for the spectrum issue, so I'm not a software engineer, I can say. That's why we have assistants from outside. Then Ahmed had some proposals. I have to check this French version failure, but I asked him also to send us some information. Here we have some screenshots, so we can check what happened. In this case, I don't know whether we have problems with the Spanish version because I haven't received yet back anything, because maybe there was a possibility that this is because of the French version of the Windows. Crashing, I mentioned it. The client-server application, it's not just client-server application, the SMS for DC, but for them maybe yes, but you can have it also individual. But it's good sometimes that if you have it on your notebook, laptop, the database, and all the software, you can go for coordination meetings and you can take it with you. But there were some good ideas to have the central database on the server, but also to have some local databases. The maritime and aeronautical, this was already a problem before. The situation is that right now we don't have yet a specification for these two services. And that's why we didn't put it into the software. We are checking whether we can put there at least the class of station, just to have something in the database. But it's not easy because we don't have any calculation for this. And there is also a ITUR resolution which requests the ITUR to assist in the further development of the SMS for DC. So I think we can send it to them also, this request to provide some specification. Field calculation, we discussed it. I doubt whether we can have something from ITUR, but study group 1 we can check. The results on Google Earth and Google Map, it's already there, this visualization. I mentioned that we have an interface for other spectrum monitoring systems because the historical, we had the Rohde-Schwarz, we had the Thales, and now TCI is using this general interface. So it's working. If any other company wants to join us, to have their name on this list, I don't know, maybe the GAV wants to join, but I'm sure that you are familiar with this and you are doing it. Preparation of statistics on spectrum use, I will check, but also we have some report and statistics, but we can check what we can build in. Because we have some built-in statistics and reports, and there is something which you can generate. Oops. Now these are the recommendations from Avalu. My French is not good enough for this, but we will go through and check the proposals because I'm sure that the comments from the users can help on the improvements. So this is the summary what I collected, and we will proceed with this. And as I mentioned to you, that we have to we are planning to organize this meeting, and those who are using the SMS for DC, if they can come for the meeting and provide their comments. Last time it was very useful, I can say, that we had a short presentation on the SMS for DC and then country experiences. I can say that, like here, I was happy that those who are using the software, the feedback was positive. But of course, we can never stop. This is clear. But this is a normal software development issue that you can never stop. Each time when you finish something, oh, it would be nice to have this one. And it's very good because sometimes we don't think on it. Even other users are not thinking on it, but some other users, they want to have some specific request. And this can be useful also for the others. So this was for the SMS4DC. I put you here the help link, so I just call your attention again that if you have any problem with the software, please send us the request. Normally it's coming to me after a while, so then I can contact the expert. And as I mentioned, when there was a question that how long does it take to resolve the problems, they are rather quick. So sometimes in the same day I receive back the reply. Sometimes they have to analyze a little bit. Sometimes they have to reproduce the error message, so to understand what happened. Other issues, because I put here a note that what were the subjects which we discussed. I'm happy because most of the subjects were for me, because I'm dealing with the spectrum broadcasting issues. So first day was especially for SMS4DC, so I summarized already what happened. The next day was the technology which we received from Kenya, the very good presentation, and also from Kezias, the policy trends. But then we were dealing on the spectrum monitoring activities. It was a country experience. And I don't know, I forgot to ask Senegal whether they are planning to link the Rodeshwas, that Argus, to the SMS4DC, because I know that Senegal purchased the system, so we can see it later. But then we had the cross-border frequency coordination, and I'm happy that we had such a good discussion on it, because this was the activity that we have done already in the past, and we spent a lot of time on this. So I hope that we can go further. My understanding is that sometimes it's difficult to go through in high-level political level or ministerial and intergovernmental agreements. But if we start to implement this regionally and among the regulators, I think we can reach better results. But I hope that we can proceed like this in the near future. So here we can have some experts who can help maybe in this to contact their regional organizations, and then we will see how to proceed. Then we had Jean-Jacques' presentation, and you had already very detailed discussions, so I don't need to repeat it. What I want to put here also some information which during the meeting we haven't mentioned, but based on some questions I'm considering it important to raise. We have the Spectrum Management Training Program, this SMTP, developed by the BDT and IT Academy. And now this training program is finished, it's available. Even in some countries the implementation has been done. Some countries means that we have cooperation with universities who can run this training program. We have the cooperation with the AFRA-LT, so the training program is there. This is a very comprehensive training program. If you go to the ITU website, you can see the details. I would be more than happy to speak about this ORS, because this was my second baby after the HCM, to have this spectrum management training program. It contains the basic part, which is giving an overview, what is the spectrum management, what are the most important things. It's for those who are engineers, but they have never dealt with spectrum management, and they are coming to the regulators and they want to learn more. This is a large program. It contains a lot of issues, technical issues, regulatory issues, legal issues, and so on, the new services and others. And then we have the advanced module, which contains special modules for different services. For example, we have a special module for spectrum monitoring. We have a special module for digital broadcasting. So this is the structure of the program. Even when it's with a university, there is one university also from Kenya, but I don't remember the name. Not the AFRA-LT, it's a university, which, yeah. And they want to run the program. They were looking also for trainers, and they want to put it to the curriculum and to the university really. So at the end, even you can prepare your final deep work and you can have your certificate from the university. We had already also a trial for the one of the first module of the basic. It was on the web. I cannot say that it was live, but the participants received the presentations. Even there, especially one expert was presenting it. And then we had chat sessions. We had maybe 2 per week. And since it was worldwide, it was very challenging because originally we wanted to split the time, for example, for Asia Pacific and then for Caribbean part. But then we realized that we have the slots and anybody can join. So this was very interesting and very challenging, telling the truth, because when you have in the chat 50 person and they are asking questions, why you replied, you are already out from the page. Then we had some trainings in the Asia Pacific region because we have cooperation with China, and we had spectrum management training, we had satellite training, we had also monitoring training. So we have several subjects here. I'm recommending you to check it, and then if there is a need, maybe we can check also here in the regional and area offices that how we can manage some training programs. Because as I see now that one of your comment was that you want to have more such type of meetings, and Jean-Jacques is really very good in this because he is organizing, especially for SMS for DC, he is organizing once per year in English and in the French training. But we have some training, but it seems to me it's not enough. So maybe we can do some more concentration that what you want to know. Because some people want to know more detailed basic things, but some people want to know some advanced things. So this is something that we can check. Then I mentioned to you also already the ITD study group questions, and I listed here the study group 1. Questions. You see that there is the broadband. That's why I propose, for example, to Kenya to provide your experiences there. Then we have the broadcasting issue, the strategies, policies, regulations, and this is already not just digital TV. So it's digital radio, for example, and other digital broadcasting, and how to implement new services. Even in the last study period, this question was dealing with the utilization of the digital dividend. Then you have the cloud computing, M services, OTTs, as you raised that this is some question, but you can contribute. And also what I can recommend you that when we have the meeting, you can join remotely. So it means that you can listen, but if you want to contribute even before you can tell that, okay, I want to have some contribution, you can send the contributions. And if the quality of the link is okay, you can present. Then we have the costs of the services. Then we have the telecommunications, ICTs for rural and remote areas. There were also some questions, and there were some presentations also that how you can reach the remote areas. Then the consumer information protection and access to telecommunication ICT services by persons with disabilities. And then the study group 2. Just to make some publicity, I'm responsible for the question 1, which is the broadcasting. Then the question 1 in the second study group is the smart cities and societies. Then we have the telecommunication ICTs for health. Then the cyber security. This was also a subject here during our discussions. Then on the conformance and interoperability, this is why I'm asking Ghana also to provide contributions. But your colleague sometimes is coming for the meeting, but what you have here, all the laboratories and all the progress what you are doing in the EMF measurements, even the SAR measurements, I think it would be very useful for the others. And we have good contact with your experts. But if we can have more contributions, we would appreciate. Then the disaster risk reduction, ICTs and the environment, and then we have the strategy and policies concerning EMF. So this is also where you can provide the contribution. So some questions, but some items which can be used also for question 4, question 7, it's also important, and I am responsible for this question. Also, what can be interesting that you can find the reports of the previous study periods. I put here the link where you can find it. And it's very interesting because 2014-17 we had a previous session, the period. You can find the reports there. You still can find the resolution 9, which is especially on spectrum management. The decision of the WTDC was that now we don't have any more special question on spectrum management, but most of the questions are dealing with spectrum issues, so we are trying to do something. The chair and vice chairs are working on it, that how we can work more on the spectrum issues, because this is important for you. So I think this is my summary, and I don't know whether you want to add something or you agree. But anyway, I wish to thank for your contributions, because you were so active during the meeting that I liked it very much, and especially I enjoyed the meeting. Plus, I enjoyed to be here only for 2 days, but at least I visited some historical monuments when we came here. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention, and I give back to Jean-Jacques.
Okay, thank you, Istvan. Well, you know, software is like a kid. After primary school, you have to send him to college. After college, university. After he has his PhD, he won't become a professor and so on. And after you have to look for work. And so it's a process there. So thanks for the ideas and proposals. Our engineers developing this tool will coordinate themselves, and Istvan will follow up to try to have a better harmonized version for you and to use. During that time, of course, those using it daily, on a daily basis, don't hesitate when you have a bug or a problem to send it to the hotline in Geneva for us to check and so on, and we can even quickly update and even send to you some amended software if it was just some problem of the Bill Gates with Word or with other links. It arrives in a software, you know, you can have some bugs. From time to time also, it depends on the prerequisite you should have. So some of you are well in advance, are fully equipped with last computers. Some others are still using very old release of computers. So we have to use all the software for everyone. So don't hesitate when you have a problem to report to us. We are more than happy to assist. All the speakers you have been hearing here, excepted Andrew Kizaka, which is one of our senior experts, but he's not a trainer. Most all of them are trainers on SMS for DC. So we have trainers in Senegal, you have trainers in Nigeria, you have a trainer in Cameroon, you have a trainer in Kenya, and Burkina Faso, and Niger. And even the Sudan one was trained, but he has left. The organization is now working for a private body, but he is available from time to time and to come there. So I have specialized trainers for the region for you. So when one is not available because he has a lot of work, some others are available. So most of them can speak in English, even make the training in English, and the others in French. So don't hesitate if you are facing problems to contact them. You have all their details, their contacts. They can even help you, even by email and so on, to solve some specific issues. They are acquainted on the use of this logiciel. Voilà, mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais maintenant clôturer officiellement ce séminaire. Je vous avais promis que j'allais finir à 16h. Il me reste 3 minutes. Il me reste 3 minutes. I will call upon my friend Patrick to come here with me. Patrick Laria is the one who has opened officially your workshop. So please, Patrick, join me here. No, there is no risk, there is no speech to make, Patrick. It's just for you to come here to join us, because I want specifically thank you and ask you to simply convey our personal satisfactions regards and thanks to the DG and to NCA for this beautiful organization during this week, RDF, but also the workshop. Your subcontractors for the excellent food we had here, for the interpreters who make good work for us to understand each other, and say that, okay, we are proud of all the labs we have been visiting, achieved by NCA, and I hope you some successful contracts with all your neighbors and country, and because this equipment is very expensive, and you need, of course, to generate some income on those equipment, or your people trained. I see a lot of young, very young experts, engineers, and so on, so it's very good. The DJ arrived? Yeah, okay, very good. So you have to send to him my special thanks and regards, but I will make myself in French. Monsieur le directeur général, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous. J'étais en train de dire que nous ne faisons pas dans les séminaires un jour et demi de clôture officielle, pas de discours. Je déclare seulement que le séminaire est clos. Bon, d'habitude, ce que je fais circuler une fiche d'évaluation pour voir si le séminaire a répondu à vos attentes. Bon, je vais le faire électroniquement. So I will circulate an evaluation form for you. Just if you want some other topics to be more detailed in the next sections or other next workshops, I will organize, and even ATU, Kezia CE, we are organizing a lot of workshops for you. In radio communications, if you want something to be improved, some topics to be addressed, okay, send it in your, this file will be sent electronically to you. DG, Andrew asked me just to say again, when he left this morning, he's in Lomé. And the thing that he arrives in Lomé before the driver come back here to the conference center. So he was very happy to have opened these sessions. And we'll give you the floor to just to say goodbye to the delegates who have enjoyed their stay here in Accra, or your delegate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mazima. Thank you for the great work, right? A round of applause for him. It's been a great training, I'm told. The team here has been communicating with me about how excellent this training has been. So on behalf of the Ministry of Communications and the National Communications Authority, we want to say thank you first to ITU for creating this enabled environment for every one of you to come from your various countries. Thank you again. He was here for the RDF and stayed over to continue. It shows a commitment to the cause, and the cause is to enrich our people in Africa to make sure that we are also at par. I love these trainings because in my prior life, before I assumed this position, one of the things I used to do was to teach. I used to teach CCIE. Those of you who knows about Cisco curriculum, yeah, I used to be a certified instructor for CCIE. So I love to go to training because it's empowerment. And now you live here empowered. Hopefully you learn something. You might not learn everything every day, but I'm sure there's something that you have learned. Your job is to go home and use it. Your job is to go home and also allow your team to benefit. If it stays with you, oftentimes we go to these trainings and people come back and nothing has happened, right? The division don't see any improvement. We don't want that. Go home and be what? Impactful, right? If you go and impart and another person goes impart, collectively we will be changing the whole ecosystem in Africa. And so, once again, on behalf of the Ministry of Communication and National Communications Authority, we want to thank ITU, we want to thank BDT, we want to thank you, Mr. Mazima, for staying over. This is beautiful African dress that you have. This shows this is an African team. I wish you all a safe journey back home. The key thing is whatever you have learned today, you have to go and what? Apply. Whatever you have come to see today, you have to what? Apply. It takes vision, right? Sometimes you go to these meetings and you see what someone is doing, and you want to be able to go home and do a change. Now, based on your role in your division, you might not be able to effect a change, but you can advise. you can write, that your leader, your manager will see that for once, you came back from this trip and it seemed like something has changed. That's the key, right? So little by little, we will change this continent that you and I love. We don't have anywhere to go. I spend a whole lot of time in the U.S., but at the end of the day, I have to come because home is home, right? It's the same. So let's change this continent. Thank you all again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DG. Okay, the workshop is closed, and you have some fruits out for those who want to chat, discuss around some fruits and some glass of water, tea, or whatever. Enjoy your last night if you are going to sleep again in Accra, and see you next time for next topics, IoT, intelligence, artificial intelligence, whatever you need. Thank you very much.